Hello, my name is Tracy Allen, and I want to welcome you to Cooking with Some Friends. Hello everyone, and welcome to Cooking with Some Friends. Tonight I'm making a recipe for cheesy chicken spaghetti, and we have this a lot of times when I have leftover chicken, either rotisserie chicken or chicken I just need to cook up because I haven't used it all in another recipe. So if you're looking for a good way to use up that rotisserie chicken or just some chicken breasts, or you could use any kind of chicken actually, canned chicken would probably even work. But you're going to need for it, you need 4 cups of cooked chicken that you've cut up into cubes or bite-sized pieces. You're going to need 12 ounces of cooked spaghetti. And to all of this, the nice thing is you're going to dump it all in one bowl, mix it up, and then put it in a sprayed 9x13 and put it in a 350-degree oven. Now, I'm not baking mine tonight because we've got a lot of stuff going on. I just want this in the fridge for maybe tomorrow night. If I don't use it tomorrow night, I'll freeze it. But it's just kind of handy to have it on hand when you need it. So in my bowl, I'm going to put 2 cans of cream of chicken soup. Actually, I got the knife out because I thought this might have trouble opening it, but it came out pretty easily. These little tabs sometimes give me fits. If you don't have 2 cans of cream of chicken soup, you could actually substitute. Oh, that ringing! You could actually substitute 1 can for cream of mushroom. I like the flavor better with cream of chicken, but you could do that substitution. Yep. That's 1 can. My 2nd can. Now I'm also going to put into this 16 ounces of sour cream and a stick of melted butter and then some spices. So I'll come back when I show you how I mix it with the spaghetti. Okay, I've added my sour cream to this mixture. I'm going to put in some cayenne pepper, and you need at least 1/4 teaspoon. If you want it a little spicier, you're welcome to add just a little bit more. Well, if I can get the lid off. This is why I like to measure everything ahead of time. I'm just going to give it a couple of sprinkles. I keep hitting that metal bowl. Sounds awful. Okay, and I'm going to put in some parsley. I need 1/4 teaspoon of dried parsley. And I'm going to put in some salt and pepper. And salt and pepper is almost always, not always, but almost always to taste. And when you're using some condensed soups, you need to be really careful because they've already added some salt to it, unless you buy that is low sodium. So you don't want to get too much salt. Okay. I have 1/4 cup of chicken broth. And I have some Italian seasoning. I need a teaspoon of this. This one I can't get the lid off. Okay, I'm going to add my 4 cups of chicken. And I'm going to stir this up before I add my pasta. Just makes it a little easier. going to put in my 12 ounces of cooked and drained spaghetti. And you want to cook that just till it's al dente. Let that drain for just a second while I do the others. I have a stick of butter that I melted. I want to put that in. And I have some Parmesan cheese I want to put in. I'm going to add a half a cup of Parmesan. I'm trying to think of the best way to get this out. Clumps up in there, and then all of a sudden a big clump comes out with it for you. Okay. So now the only thing I still have to add to the inside of this is my pasta. So I want to stir this in first, make sure all that cheese gets incorporated, and the butter as well. Okay. My pasta should be good and drained. My glass is steamed over. Wooden spoon at this point just because it's heavier. Okay. When I get this mixed in, I'm going to go ahead and put it in that casserole dish, and then I'm going to top this with some cheddar cheese. You could use cheese blends and some Italian breadcrumbs. And then I'm going to let this cool just a little bit to room temperature before I put it in the fridge. I'm going to cover it and put it in the refrigerator, and then we'll have it later. If you're gonna bake it, you'll pop it in the oven at 350, and it takes it about 45 minutes at least. Everything's pretty much that would cause you a problem is pretty much cooked already. The chicken especially. As you can see, that makes a large batch of chicken chili. Chicken chili. I keep saying chili. Chicken spaghetti. A lot of times when I make those mistakes, I don't catch myself, but I do like chicken chili too, though. That's coming later. Okay. Ready for my cheese, and I like to use a blend, and it's going to take about 2 cups of cheese. So I like to blend mine with some cheddar, and you can use sharp cheddar or mild cheddar. And then a blend. And we'll seal that with our breadcrumbs. And we'll just use about a cup of Italian seasoned breadcrumbs. And that's all there is to it. And pop it in the oven or cover it and put it in the fridge once it cools to room temperature, or if you're not going to use it for a couple of days, then put it in the freezer till you are. If you're going to freeze it, or refrigerate it for that matter, if you're going to refrigerate it, go ahead and add another 10 minutes or so to the baking time just to make sure it heats all the way through. If you're going to freeze it, thaw it to room temperature first and then go ahead and bake it. So I hope you enjoy it. Kelly, my sister's here. We're doing goulash, and we've always made goulash. I remember our mom making goulash.
Yeah, I just made it like she did.
Yeah, which was probably wrong. But anyway, we're going to make our goulash recipe, which we didn't know, but it's very similar.
Yeah.
We didn't know that till we started. So in my pan, in my old crusty pan, I have about 1.5 pounds of hamburger, and we're gonna let that brown, but we're gonna put in some onion and some green pepper.
Now?
Go ahead. And I just did about half a green pepper. And you like green pepper?
Yeah.
And I got it out of the garden, so that was kind of handy. And I just went with about 1/2 cup of onion. Okay. And you stir that up, and then salt and pepper to taste. But remember, if you don't use my Crocs, the salt and pepper comes out fast. Okay. We were talking about the fact that our mom probably is where we got that.
How much?
2 of us. She cooked her pasta before she put it in, which would really make it kind of mushy by the time it's done. But I remember thinking our goulash was good.
Yeah.
But you know how it is when you're a kid.
That's pepper, right?
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna let this brown up and let the onions cook through. And then we'll come back and add some garlic and some other things. Okay, so our hamburger, peppers, onion, salt and pepper are browned. I'm gonna go ahead and add a couple of teaspoons, I want to turn that down, of garlic, which would be a couple of cloves. And then I'm gonna add my seasonings in. I wanna add in, can't get that off the tray. Wrong side. I have 2 teaspoons of paprika, and you said you don't use paprika, right?
I haven't.
We were talking too about the difference between American goulash and Hungarian goulash. And Hungarian goulash, you would just take beef and almost like a soup or a stew and cook it, slow cook it, and then put it over egg noodles. And we've Americanized it and use hamburger. And okay, I also have some seasoning salt. I have 1.5 teaspoons. And I am going to put in some Italian seasoning. 1.5 teaspoons of that. Worcestershire sauce, which Kelly leaves out of hers because she doesn't.
Oh, it was soy sauce.
Oh, I have a recipe that does have soy sauce in it too, but I don't.
I didn't like it. It was too.
It adds just a little twang or a little different taste to it. So I'm going to let those marry just a minute, those flavors. And then I'm going to put in there some petite diced tomatoes, some tomato sauce, and some chicken broth. Okay, our sauce that we made came to a boil. I dropped the heat down some. Now I'm going to add our pasta. And we'll let this cook for 7 to 10 minutes just till it's al dente. Tender.
Yes,
and then we're going to set it off the heat and just let it sit. I like goulash better warmed up. Sometimes better than I do the first time around. But anyway, we'll let that sit for about 5 minutes. When you serve it, you could add Parmesan cheese over the top of it, whatever you want. But that's our goulash recipe. Thanks for joining us for this session of Cooking with Some Friends. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And find us on Facebook at Cooking with Some Friends.